A lot of issues surrounding both Carolina and the Jets, but they'll put their 4-6 records against each other on Sunday. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, NFL.com's Pat Kirwan. Glad to be with you on the NFL preview show presented by Tyson Anytizers. And Pat, let's start with New York because there's a lot of people saying that maybe this is the time to bench Mark Sanchez. Would you agree?
I disagree completely. You've gone down the road with the guy. First off, Kellen Clemens is not the answer, and so why would you invest the time in him? Now, Mark does have to learn to handle pressure better. And when you look at what their play selection is, they're protecting the kid pretty much. The first half of the season, they were throwing the ball 29 times a game. That was the least amount in the NFL. Now they're down to 27 attempts. It sounds like a small change, but they're subtly trying to help the kid out. They need to get to the bootleg game and keep him out of the pocket where he feels compelled to throw a ball when he can take a sack. He's not ready to handle all that, but I would not take him off the field.
Having said that, if you're the Carolina Panthers, are you gearing up this week to stop the run and make Mark Sanchez beat you?
Yeah, because you know that and they've run the ball 350 times. They're number one in the NFL in rushing attempts, the New York Jets. So, and I talked to John Fox, and it's pretty clear to John, stop the running game. And he knows that offensive line's pretty good. They're going to be passing opportunities, but because of who Sanchez is, I wouldn't be taking them. I would run the ball most of the time against 8 in the box. You know what that means? No audibles at the line. Go out and run the play we called.
One thing that could hurt the Panthers this week, Thomas Davis 2 weeks ago put on IR. His replacement, Landon Johnson, this week put on IR, so they're getting thin there at linebacker, and that could be a big issue for Carolina. Now, they couldn't stop Ricky Williams last week. They also got away from the run last week on that Thursday night game, and it looked like they put the ball in Jake Delhomme's hands.
Right.
That cannot be their formula for success.
No, I think they threw 42 times and completed 19. They need to complete more passes.
But they need to run the ball more.
They absolutely have to run the ball. But remember, D'Angelo didn't practice all week, and he got in the game and he played admirably, but he needs to be better than that. They will run the ball this week against these guys. They're going to come out and really run at the Jets with their own formula the Jets want to use.
You've talked all season long about how you would like to see them run the Wildcat or whatever version of it. Why? You talk to John Fox all the time. When you ask him that, what does he say?
Well, he doesn't have an answer that it's satisfactory to me because, to me, you know, Dan Henning, who's running the Miami Wildcat, which is the best one in the NFL, was at Carolina.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch, they ran a version of it. D'Angelo was taking the direct snap. They were effective with it. And the guy who's calling the plays on offense is a line coach. And, you know, and so to me, there's really a reason to do it. John says we like our quarterback under center. He's been so steadfast with Jake Delhomme, he won't budge off it.
Pat, with the Jets, there's some disappointment because of the 3-0 start with Sanchez. But look, it is a rookie quarterback, so nobody expected them to be a playoff team. Carolina is a different story. The feeling there is not the same optimistic feeling for the future as it is in New York. So what should fans of the Panthers be thinking about? All right, what do we have here for the future moving forward?
Well, they have a tremendous offensive line now. We've lost Jordan Gross for the year, and Travell Wharton bumped out to left tackle. He struggled last week, but he'll be better this week, and John assures me that will happen. I know Travell, and I've talked to him. He will be better. They have a fine offensive line. You have terrific running backs. You're clearly missing a vertical threat tight end, and you're missing an elite young receiver opposite Steve. Musa Muhammad can't keep doing this. On defense, I like their secondary. I think they're big and physical. They could use another. They're getting Godfrey back this week. While he was gone, they were fine. And they need someone opposite Julius Peppers or the decision to keep Julius Peppers because the money's now getting prohibitive with all the franchise tags.
$16 million for Julius Peppers.
It's going to be at 21 next year.
If they're able to keep him. And, of course, it all depends on what happens with the lockout situation as well, if there is a lockout or at least the uncapped season. Anyway, Pat, 4-6 teams. Who do you like this week?
Well, I like Jake Delhomme more than I like Mark Sanchez now. I think Mark's still struggling with this, so I will take the Carolina Panthers on the road to get a game, and it's going to be a short game. This game should be under 3 hours with both teams trying to run the ball 35 times. There's two backs that I like in Carolina. Stewart's a fine back, too. So give me them in a very low-scoring game.
All right, 1 p.m. Eastern. For more on this game, stay with CBSSports.com. That'll do it for the NFL preview show, presented by Tyson Anytizers, the meaty Good Man Snack. For Pat Kirwan, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.